Jai Gurudev, everyone. I am reading this book called Tips for Happy Living or JivanaSutrani by Swami Tejomayananda of Chennai Mission. Now, I found this book. It's a really tiny book and it says Tips for Happy Living. Now, who doesn't want tips for happy living, right? So here goes. Lessons from Life. Lesson 1, Introduction. Lessons from Life of Life. Live and outlive. People are fascinated with knowing about life after death. But knowing about life after birth is more important and relevant. Many in this world are merely existing, some surviving, a few really living, and a rare few living happily, and the rarest outliving life itself. There is a saying in Hindi, Chalti ka naam gadi. Since it's moving, it's called a car. Just because a person is living, breathing and moving around, is he truly alive? He is merely existing. Some bungle their way through life. Some are seen to be barely surviving one crisis after another, bashed up, hurt, and limping through life. Some, through manipulation and cunning, attain ordinary goals. Some live ordinary lives that too complicating and cursing. However, some happily dance through life, sporting and playing ordinary or extraordinary, playing ordinary or extraordinary roles, gaining mastery over themselves and others, making a mark everywhere they go and touch the lives of all they come in contact with. Such extraordinary people are rare and are remembered long after their departure. I'm sure all of us are able to relate, Sometimes we are bungling our way through, sometimes we are happily. We probably go through all of these cycles. And we also know people who have lived extraordinary lives, right? People that inspire us. Recently, I had an occasion to collect and pen my thoughts into sutras or aphoristic statements. This style of literature is unique to India and very effective in communicating subtle ideas, which, when reflected upon, reveal great depths. Refer Sutra literature. These sutras are based on lessons learned from my experience. Now, this is not me talking, this is Swami Tejomayananda talking, right? It's his life experiences. My trials and tribulations, failures and successes, mistakes and achievements. They come from my experience of what I've learned from the scriptures, saints, and sages. This compilation is not a Vedic text, but tips for happy living, which will teach us how to truly live and outlive life. Living life according to JivanaSutrani, the name of the book, can transform us from ordinary to extraordinary. May all be happy. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Many people live in extraordinary efforts to transform. Many people have put in extraordinary efforts to transform my words into this beautiful book. May all be blessed. Thank God for people who do such amazing stuff. So you and I get to read and enjoy. Sutra literature. Now, what does sutra mean? Swamiji has put everything, all the tips in sutra form. Let's see what sutra means. When a topic is dealt with in an aphoristic style, meaning in a cryptic and brief statements, they are called sutras or aphorisms. Sanskrit literature abounds with sutras. Even subjects like grammar were taught in sutras. Panini sutras are very famous Sanskrit grammar literature. Now, then there are Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and Jaimini Sutras on the Karma Kanda. Talking about Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, my favorite sutra is, Patanjali actually tells people how to get established in themselves, right? How to achieve yoga, huh? Union of mind, body, everything. How to live, breathe, everything yoga, not just the poses. He says, Satudirga Kala Nairantarya Satkara Sevito Dridabhumi. That's one of my favorite Patanjali sutras. Now let's see what sutra really is, right? Now, brought out, okay, the great sage Vedavyasa brought out the subtle essence of Upanishads in his renowned Brahma Sutras. Now, what is a sutra? They are Alpakshara. The knower of sutras defines it as that which has minimum words, is free from ambiguity, meaningful, multifaceted, without any superfluous words, and is flawless. How succinct can one be? Yeah. I'm not reading the Sanskrit verse because I'm not good at reading Sanskrit. I have not learned it yet. Let's say it that way. I have not learned it yet. So, but let's look at the each word and the meaning of each word. Alpaksharam, which means with minimum words. When we write a personal letter, we express our feelings elaborately and describe events at length. In olden days, people used to send telegrams conveying news in minimum words. For example, father serious, return immediately, or wife delivered boy. Similarly, sutras too convey their deep meaning with minimum words. Asangdiktam, free from ambiguity. A sutra which can be free from ambiguity, even though it has minimum words, should be free from ambiguity. Now, a man received a telegram with words coming, receive. Now he was left wondering, the person who received it was left wondering, who is coming, from where, when, where should I receive him or her, at the bus station, railway station, airport, where? The sutras are clear in their meaning, unlike this particular telegram mentioned above, and leave no scope for ambiguity or confusion. Now, Saravat, they are meaningful, they're full of Sara or essence. Now, sutras are statements with deep meaning and reveal great truths. Each word is well chosen and is meaningful. They do not talk of mundane or worldly matters and are not to be understood literally or superficially. Learned and wise men have revealed a wealth of meaning in sutras through their commentaries and treatises. One hears of humorous stories in which there was a competition on discussion of scriptures or shastras in a village. Learned scholars from Varanasi, the mecca of learning, had come to the village, confident of winning any verbal match. The villagers were at a loss. Who would represent them against all these scholars and safeguard the prestige of the village? One villager volunteered. He confidently initiated the competition with the question, Pava iti kim sutram? What is the meaning of the sutra? Pava. Now, the Pandits had never heard of it. They thought if the very first round, if in the very first round their ignorance is exposed, further rounds would only cause more humiliation. They admitted defeat and left without asking what the sutra meant. The jubilant villagers later asked him, the villager who had volunteered, for the meaning. The villager said, I too don't know. They are just some letters I put together. A sutra cannot be meaningless like the one above. Right? It's meaningful, it's saravat. Vishwato mukham, it's multifaceted. A sutra should be able to throw light on many aspects of the topic. Also, we should be able to look at it from various standpoints. Astobham, without any superfluous words. A sutra should not have any extra words. In poetry, each meter has a fixed number of letters. Sometimes, while composing a piece, a poet falls short of one letter. In Sanskrit, he could use a filler word like cha, vai, etc., so as to complete the meter. Pada purnartham, completing the meter. Such words have no separate meaning. One cannot add or subtract any word to a sutra, as every word is important and required to convey the overall meaning. Anavadyam or flawless. Ana, anavadyam, or it is flawless. The language of sutras, in terms of grammar and choice of words, must be flawless, and its meaning conveyed faultless. The word should not convey any double meaning or with negative connotations. Sutra also means a thread. The word of a sutra act as a thread, stringing together the principles and various aspects of the topic. Bhakti sutras hold together the pearls of devotion, and yoga sutras the gems of yoga. Sukha, suk, Sukhanat sutra iti ahuhu. Being indicators, they are called sutras. Sutras indicate the meaning of the concept of truth. We have to contemplate on the meaning indicated to get the truth. We need to dive deep and discover the gems hidden within those words. The words give us clue by which we unravel the mystery and gain right knowledge. For example, the detective picks up a blonde hair clue from the crime site. His investigation of the clue leads him to the criminal. If someone has difficulty in answering riddles, then they are given hints or clues that help them out. Now, the sutra gives us clues to help us understand the subject. The sutras are easy to carry knowledge capsules. They are easy to carry knowledge capsules. It is always easier to remember a formula than to remember lengthy sentences and paragraphs. The formula is remembered and understood and can always be elaborated upon when needed. If I remember and understand E equals mc square, I can elaborate the theory of relativity. The sutras are such formulae that help us remember the subject in a capsule form. Similar to Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, the one verse, I remember one more from Tirukural. Tiruvalluvar, who is known as, I don't know much of Tamil literature, but this one Tirukural is left stuck in my head, which was taught to me by one of my office colleagues. It goes like this: Enni tuniga karmam, துணிந்தபின் எண்ணுவம் என்பது இழுக்கு. Acting or giving it enough forethought before you act is important rather than repenting after. There is no point in repenting after. That's what it meant. And Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, which I shared earlier, it is Satudirga Kala Nairantarya Satkara Sevito Dridabhumi. Meaning, Satudirga, meaning for a long period of time. Dirga Kala, long period of time. Nairantarya, continuously. Satkara Sevito, with a lot of reverence. When you do an action, Satkara Sevito Dridabhumi. You become established in that. Everything. So, like this, I'm sure all of you who have heard of sutras or sayings like that, which have a big impact, which help you sort of, you can share that, right? Chapter 1, we will see tomorrow. Every day, we will read a little bit from this. Now, the aphorisms on life are presented. So nice of Swamiji to not just write the sutras, but he has interpreted it also. I mean, he's explained it also for us. Very important. I remember Swami Bodhatmanandaji once sharing this example. We have gurus and teachers in our lives. Why? Because many a times we don't understand everything. We cannot take a big textbook and start reading it and understand everything. If you do, fantastic. Most of us don't. For that, the guru comes. What does he do? Like the mother bird that feeds the child, the mother bird goes, finds worms and all that. It chews it, makes it into digestible pulp, and then feeds it into the baby chick. Like that, all of these swamis and gurus come and they make this knowledge, this profound knowledge, so easy, so palatable for us to digest, assimilate, and live it. So, tips for happy living. I'm excited, and I hope whoever is watching is equally excited. All right. See you tomorrow, probably same time. Maybe not, maybe later. I don't know. See you.